Hi everyone, Kristina here. Welcome to another Friday Focus video. Today I'm using this stamp set from Mama Elephant called Purrfect Pair, as well as the coordinating dies that go with it. I'm also going to be die cutting a tag using this die from Paper Smooches, and also embossing the card base and the tag with this embossing folder from Sizzix. So the first thing I'm going to do is do some die cutting. I'm die cutting one of the cat dies that coordinates with the stamp set. I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. And then I'm going to cut out the tag. And an awesome blog reader gave me this tip that when you're having trouble die cutting, you should turn the die at a diagonal and run it through your die cutting machine and it should cut better. This was a simple shape to cut, but I just remembered it right at that moment, so I thought I would try it. Now I'm using some sea glass cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. I've scored that for my card and then I ran it through my Big Shot machine using that embossing folder. And using the same embossing folder, I'm going to add some texture to the tag, but I am going to be stamping the greeting for the card on the bottom of the tag, so I don't want any of that texture on that portion of the tag. So as you see, the tag is kind of hanging outside this die cutting sandwich. And that makes it so that the bottom portion of the tag will not have any texture on it. Because it's kind of hanging outside of those plates, it's not going to receive any pressure, and therefore it leaves it blank. So you can see there's that nice smooth area at the bottom of the tag that's perfect for stamping a greeting. So the first bit of stamping that I'm going to be doing on today's card is the stamping of the cat on that die cut. I'm using this tool today called MISTI. MISTI stands for Most Incredible Stamp Tool Invented, and it has some really awesome features that I want to show you today. The main feature I want to show you is how you can perfectly line up your stamps over die cuts. So the first thing you do is you go ahead and stamp down your image onto some scratch paper or some cardstock, and then you take the negative image from the die cut and place that over the top, get it positioned just perfectly, and then you're going to be placing the actual die cut right inside like a puzzle piece, and this is going to make the perfect placement for your stamping. So I'll go ahead and take that die cut and put that right inside that negative space. Now I'm going to ink up the cat over on the other side one more time. And then as I swing the stamping plate over and press down, I get the perfect stamped die cut. It's a really, really cool tool, and I actually have one to give away over at my blog, so make sure you go over to today's blog post and check it out. I did want to mention that this MISTI that you're seeing on camera is a previous version of MISTI, so the new version you'll need to check out over at their website. So I'm using some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. It's the same ink that I used on the cat. I wanted the greeting and the cat and one of those blacks to match, so that's why I'm still using that same ink color. And I just stamped that on the very bottom of the tag. Now I'm going to do some coloring on the cat. I started out by coloring the cat's nose, and then I brought in some cool grays to color the rest of the cat. This cat's going to be a little bit of a tuxedo cat, but more gray. It's not going to be black like the usual cats that I color. So I did a bunch of C3, and now I'm coming in with C5 and adding in some more spots for shading. And I'm going to add one more darker color just to make it a little bit more intense. I'm using C7, and I'll just add little tiny spots of C7 pretty sparingly because it is a really dark gray, and I want the majority of the cat to be just a medium tone gray. So I'll bring in some C5 to blend out that C7 just a little bit. And then the last thing I'm going to do with the grays is take some C3 and blend out all of that shading. This is going to give me a really even coverage of gray and also add some depth and dimension to the cat. I then took a colorless blender, and like I've showed you guys in the past, the colorless blender kind of pushes ink away, so I'm adding that right around the center area of the cat, trying to fade off those edges. I took a C1 marker and just added a tiny bit of shading on the white areas, and then this cat is pretty much done. I decided I wanted to add one more cat to the card, so I die cut the reflected version of that cat. There's three cats technically in the stamp set. The two larger cats, they're meant to be facing each other. So I went ahead and die cut the other half, the other cat, and now I'm using that MISTI tool one more time. And you can see how easy it is to get a perfect impression on that die cut, a perfect stamp. It's a really, really cool tool. So make sure you head over to my blog to enter that giveaway today. And thank you so much to Ileana, who's the creator of MISTI, for offering this giveaway. So I'm going to be coloring the nose on this cat a slightly darker pink, and then I decided I better have the other one match. So I brought it back over and just colored over the top. And this cat's going to be more of an orange cat, kind of like a little tabby cat. And so I'm using Y32 for the main portion of the body, and then bringing in YR21 for shading, and using YR24 and YR27 to add little zigzags and stripes on the cat. I just think it turned out super cute, and I love this color combination for this particular type of cat. So I'm adding in a little bit of those darker shades, and then I'm going to go back to that original really light yellow color, and I'm going to be coloring over the top of everything. And this really softens out all of those stripes and gets them to blend a little bit more so they don't look like I've just drawn them on. So I'm taking Y32 over all of those areas just to blend everything. And then I'm going to take the colorless blender one more time, or actually C1 first to shade in those whites. And then I'll take the colorless blender and just blend out from the center of that cat, similar to what I did with the gray cat. So now we have two little kitties that are ready to go on the card. I've taken some baker's twine from the twinery and just tied a bow around the bottom portion of that tag. This just gives a little bit of a ground, so to speak, for the cats to be above. So I adhered them with some foam adhesive. And now I'm going to be putting that entire tag onto the card front. So I put some foam adhesive on the back of the tag and then putting it directly on the card. And the thing that I wanted to show you guys about this is that embossing folder, it continues from the card base onto the tag. You'll be able to see this more in a minute here. I'm going to turn one of my lights above my desk off so that you can really see the embossing. You can see that the design continues from the tag onto the card base. I think this is really cool. It might even be more noticeable if you did it with like a large dot embossing folder or something like that. So I rounded the top corners of the card, and that is my card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be back on Monday for a new video. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys loved the embossing, dry embossing technique, and also a little bit of the Copic coloring. On screen right now are 3 more cards that feature fun images from Mama Elephant. They're all holiday cards, so if you've been kind of missing all the holiday cards after the holiday card series, here are 3 more for you to check out. 2 from this year's holiday card series and 1 from last year's. Once again, thanks so much for watching. You can catch me over at my blog at kwernerdesign.com and also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on Monday for a new Make a Card Monday video.